Hello, future engineers and scientists. Welcome to an exciting session on G Advanced Chemistry. Today, we are diving into the fascinating world of aldehydes and ketones, specifically focusing on a unique reaction, the Cannizzaro reaction. We'll embark on a four-level journey, starting with the basics, moving through detailed mechanisms, tackling complex applications, and finally reaching the competitive depth required for G Advanced. Get ready to explore how certain molecules transform themselves. Ready to unravel a chemical mystery? Let's begin with the easy level, understanding the core concept of the Cannizzaro reaction. The Cannizzaro reaction is a special type of disproportionation reaction. Imagine a molecule reacting with itself, where one part gets oxidized and another gets reduced. This happens when two molecules of an aldehyde, specifically those without any alpha hydrogen atoms, react in the presence of a concentrated strong base like sodium or potassium hydroxide. The result? One aldehyde molecule transforms into a carboxylic acid, which immediately forms its salt with the base, while the other molecule is reduced to an alcohol. This simultaneous oxidation and reduction within the same compound type is what makes it a disproportionation reaction. So, what are the key conditions for this intriguing reaction? Firstly, and most crucially, the aldehyde must not have an alpha hydrogen. An alpha hydrogen is simply a hydrogen atom attached to the carbon atom directly next to the carbonyl group. Formaldehyde, benzaldehyde, and pivaldehyde are classic examples of such aldehydes. Secondly, a concentrated strong base, like a 50% solution of NaOH or KOH, is absolutely essential to kickstart the reaction. Take formaldehyde, for instance. When treated with concentrated NaOH, two molecules of formaldehyde yield sodium formate and methanol. One formaldehyde is oxidized to formate, and the other is reduced to methanol. This clearly illustrates the disproportionation. The absence of alpha hydrogens is vital, as their presence would typically lead to aldol condensation instead. Now, let's put your understanding to the test with some easy-level practice questions. Pause the video, try to answer them, and then check your solutions. These questions will help solidify your grasp of the fundamental principles of the Cannizzaro reaction. Great job with the basics. Now, let's deepen our understanding and explore the detailed mechanism behind the Cannizzaro reaction at the medium level. The Cannizzaro reaction proceeds through a fascinating three-step mechanism, primarily involving hydride transfer. It all begins with a nucleophilic attack, the hydroxide ion from a concentrated base, acting as a nucleophile, attacks the electron-deficient carbonyl carbon of one aldehyde molecule. This forms a temporary, unstable tetrahedral intermediate anion. Think of it as the initial handshake between the base and the aldehyde. This step prepares the molecule for the critical transformation that follows, setting the stage for the next, more complex interaction. The second step is the heart of the Cannizzaro reaction and is often the rate-determining one, hydride transfer. The tetrahedral intermediate, now charged, expels a hydride ion, which is a hydrogen atom with its two electrons. This hydride ion then acts as a nucleophile and attacks the carbonyl carbon of a unreacted aldehyde molecule. The aldehyde that donated the hydride is oxidized, forming a carboxylic acid, which quickly loses its proton to the base and becomes a stable carboxylate ion. The aldehyde that accepted the hydride is reduced, forming an alkoxide ion. This simultaneous exchange is key to the disproportionation. Finally, we have the proton exchange step. The alkoxide ion, formed from the reduced aldehyde in the previous step, is a strong base. It quickly abstracts a proton from the carboxylic acid, or from water if it's available in the solution. This rapid proton transfer converts the alkoxide into the final alcohol product. The carboxylic acid, having lost its proton, remains as its corresponding carboxylate salt. This completes the cycle, yielding both an alcohol and a carboxylic acid salt from the initial aldehyde molecules. This mechanism beautifully explains how one type of molecule can undergo both oxidation and reduction simultaneously. Time to challenge yourselves with some medium-level practice questions. These will require you to apply your knowledge of the mechanism and different types of Cannizzaro reactions. Work through them carefully, and remember, understanding the why behind each step is crucial for G Advanced success. Excellent work so far. Let's now elevate our understanding to the hard level, delving into more complex aspects and theoretical connections. At the hard level, let's refine our understanding of the mechanism, especially the hydride transfer. This pivotal step, where a hydride ion is transferred, is often considered a concerted process. Imagine a cyclic transition state where the hydrogen atom moves with its electrons from the tetrahedral intermediate of one aldehyde to the carbonyl carbon of another. The electron density from the oxygen anion in the intermediate facilitates this expulsion. Furthermore, we can have an intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction. Compounds like glyoxyl, with two aldehyde groups lacking alpha hydrogens, can react within themselves. One aldehyde group gets oxidized to a carboxylate, and the other is reduced to an alcohol, forming an alpha-hydroxycarboxylic acid. This internal reaction is highly efficient due to the close proximity of the reacting groups. Several factors profoundly influence the rate and selectivity of the Cannizzaro reaction. The concentration of the base is paramount. The reaction rate often shows a third-order dependence, indicating multiple species involved in the rate-determining step. In crossed Cannizzaro reactions, where two different aldehydes react, the aldehyde with a more electrophilic carbonyl carbon, typically due to less steric hindrance or electron-withdrawing groups, is preferentially oxidized. Formaldehyde, being highly reactive and small, is almost always oxidized in such scenarios. Temperature, as with most reactions, also plays a role, generally increasing the rate. It's crucial to distinguish Cannizzaro from aldol condensation. While Cannizzaro requires aldehydes without alpha hydrogens and a concentrated base, leading to redox disproportionation, aldol condensation occurs with aldehydes having alpha hydrogens and a dilute base, forming a new carbon-carbon bond. This table highlights their fundamental differences. Understanding the stereochemical implications of the Cannizzaro reaction is also important. Generally, the reaction does not introduce or alter stereochemistry. The carbon atoms involved in the oxidation and reduction steps typically do not become chiral centers as a direct result of the reaction. However, if the starting aldehyde itself is chiral and the reaction occurs at a non-chiral center, the chirality would be retained. The hydride transfer mechanism, while complex, does not inherently lead to the formation of new chiral centers in the products unless the structure of the aldehyde already dictates it. This makes it distinct from reactions where new stereocenters are formed or inverted during the process. For G Advanced, this level of detail helps in predicting products and understanding reaction outcomes more comprehensively. Now, it's time for some challenging hard-level practice questions. These problems will test your deeper understanding of the mechanism, intramolecular reactions, and factors affecting reaction outcomes. Take your time, apply your knowledge, and strive for precision in your answers. You've tackled the hard challenges, and now it's time to ascend to the highest peak, the hardest level. Prepare for competitive depth, engineering insights, and advanced theoretical connections. At the hardest level, let's delve into the advanced mechanistic nuances and kinetic considerations. The Cannizzaro reaction's kinetic order can be quite complex. While often considered third order overall, at very high base concentrations, it can actually become fourth order. This suggests that a second hydroxide ion might participate in the transition state, assisting the hydride transfer by stabilizing the developing negative charge. This intricate dependence on base concentration underscores the delicate balance of proton and electron movements. Furthermore, aldehydes, especially formaldehyde, exist in equilibrium with their hydrate forms in aqueous solutions. The actual reactive species undergoing nucleophilic attack could be the free aldehyde or its conjugate base from the hydrate, adding another layer of complexity to the reaction's initial steps. Understanding these subtle details is crucial for a complete G-advanced perspective. Predicting product distribution in crossed Cannizzaro reactions requires a keen eye for electrophilicity and steric hindrance. When two different aldehydes react, the more electrophilic aldehyde, often due to smaller size or electron withdrawing groups, is preferentially *reduced to the alcohol. Conversely, the aldehyde that forms a more stable tetrahedral intermediate and is thus more easily oxidized will donate the hydride and become the carboxylate. Formaldehyde is a prime example. Its high reactivity and minimal steric hindrance almost always ensure its oxidation to formate. Beyond Cannizzaro, it's essential to understand related reactions. The Tishchenko reaction, for instance, uses an aluminum alkoxide catalyst to yield an ester directly from an aldehyde via an intramolecular hydride shift, a fascinating parallel to Cannizzaro. Similarly, the benzylic acid rearrangement, though involving alpha-diketones, shares mechanistic similarities, showcasing a broader class of nucleophile-initiated rearrangements involving carbon shifts. These connections highlight the fundamental principles governing carbonyl chemistry. From a synthetic perspective, the Cannizzaro reaction, particularly its crossed variant, holds significant utility despite its limitations. It's a valuable tool for synthesizing specific alcohols and carboxylic acid salts from aldehydes lacking alpha hydrogens. A notable example is the production of neopentyl glycol, a crucial component in polymers and coatings. This is achieved through a crossed Cannizzaro involving formaldehyde and isobutyraldehyde, followed by further reduction. However, the reaction isn't without its challenges. The necessity for high base concentrations can lead to unwanted side reactions with sensitive substrates, and the coproduction of both an alcohol and a carboxylic acid salt often requires additional separation steps, adding to the complexity of industrial processes. Understanding these practical aspects is vital for applying theoretical knowledge to real-world chemical synthesis. The industrial relevance of the Cannizzaro reaction, though niche, is significant for specialty chemical production, such as polyols derived from formaldehyde. From a green chemistry standpoint, the classical Cannizzaro reaction uses stoichiometric amounts of base, leading to salt byproducts that require disposal. This aspect drives ongoing research into developing more sustainable alternatives, including catalytic versions or milder reaction conditions to minimize waste. The legacy of the Cannizzaro reaction extends beyond its direct applications. It serves as a foundational reaction in organic chemistry, illustrating key principles of oxidation reduction, nucleophilic attack, and hydride transfer. Its study provides insights into more complex reaction mechanisms and helps in understanding the reactivity patterns of carbonyl compounds, making it a cornerstone for advanced organic synthesis and chemical engineering. Mastering these concepts is crucial for excelling in competitive exams like G-Advanced. Now, let's test your mettle with the first set of 5 hardest level questions. These problems are designed to push your analytical skills and deep understanding of the Cannizzaro reaction. Take your time to dissect each question, apply all the concepts we've discussed, and formulate precise answers. Good luck! Here are the remaining 5 hardest level questions to further challenge your expertise. These questions demand a comprehensive grasp of the topic, including mechanistic details, selectivity, and comparisons with related reactions. Think critically, connect the dots between different concepts, and aim for the most accurate solutions. You're almost there. Congratulations on completing this in-depth journey through the Cannizzaro reaction. From its basic definition to the most complex mechanistic nuances and industrial applications, you've gained a comprehensive understanding. Remember, Consistent practice and a deep conceptual understanding are your best tools for cracking JEE Advanced. For more such enriching content, detailed solutions, and personalized learning experiences, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates and to continue your path to academic excellence. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing your boundaries.